this? Mac Jones going to get the start for the 49ers. Thoughts on that one, G? Because, man, I feel like he's lived like 100,000 different lives. Not only did he do that at Alabama, then he went into the league, and that was a whole thing.
Yeah, his rookie year was with the Patriots, and then it faltered off because him and Bill Belichick had a little friction because he obviously...
Because Mac Jones had friction with himself. I mean, that guy was like just kicking stuff, and he was mad. I was just mad,
He couldn't handle his emotions, but apparently, reportedly, he sought other advice outside the building.
I thought you were going to say something else.
And then Bill Belichick got upset.
I thought you were going to say something else. Go ahead.
He goes to Jacksonville, has a decent run. But what's really interesting here, Simone, is the fact that he's playing for Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy just signed a huge $265 million deal in the offseason. There's a lot of reasons for San Fran to keep Brock Purdy and to keep him happy. However, Mac Jones has been pretty solid in the two games he's played so far this year. Has a quarterback rating 98.1 out of 100, 500-something yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. This could be a audition, so to speak. They play the Rams tonight. The Rams have a really good defense. This could be kind of an audition, in my opinion, for a guy that is, basically had to try out a little bit in the last couple of years. He has talent, obviously, but go get a big deal with somebody else.
I don't want to rain on his parade, but is this more of Kyle Shanahan's offense setting QBs up for success, or is it actually Mac Jones being Mac Jones?
Then if that's the case, why would you sign Brock Purdy to the deal that they signed him to? If Brock Purdy is a product of the system, then why would you sign Brock Purdy to a $265 million deal? Unless you think Kyle Shanahan's the guy, then you can just go get average quarterbacks and go plug and play. And people say, well, he kind of did that. Look at Jimmy Garoppolo and C.J. Beathard and all these guys that had have come in. But in the NFL, it's usually who has the players. Sure. And in this weird system, it's like, hey, who has the system?
I still think you have to have the right guy to fit the system, though. That's one thing about coaching is that, you go look at it at different levels. Obviously, you can start recruiting and getting guys that you want, at least legally, in college. Not so much when you're actually at the high school level. But regardless, in the NFL, you can certainly get guys who fit your system, even if they are average. And you have a coach who is this wizard, so to speak, right? And what he's able to do with offensive play calling. So I agree with you, no question, that, hey, when you get a guy who can fit your system, whether average or not, he can be above average. I still think that Mac Jones has proven himself to be more of a backup plan than maybe a franchise-leading type of signal caller.
Right, but backup plan in San Francisco. Maybe does that parlay itself to maybe the starting job in, let's just say, who needs a quarterback?
That's a good point.
So if you're saying an audition for someone else, then absolutely. I didn't know if you meant auditioned there, which, of course, when you spend that type of money, there's no audition available. They might plug and play for a minute, but there's no, unless there's an open spot because of an injury, then you're going to be the backup.
Don't look past Sam Darnold and what he did a few years ago. Revitalized his career in Minnesota after learning under Kyle Shanahan. But, I think it's going to be interesting tonight because there's no Ricky Pearsall and there's no Jawan Jennings. So who is Mac Jones going to get the ball to?
Who's he going to throw it to? Yeah, it is going to be interesting. And this San Francisco team, I think the injuries are going to plague them, and I don't think they're going to make a run for the Super Bowl, mainly because they can't keep anybody healthy, mainly Brock Purdy. But this is a really interesting game here, I think, in my opinion, for Mac Jones, because he can make himself a lot of money with another strong start to the season. Maybe not in San Francisco, maybe somewhere else. There's
several teams in the league that are kind of like this pipeline of SEC talent. Now, SEC talent obviously owns, as we know, down here covering the Senior Bowl. So many guys from the SEC are there playing at the Senior Bowl, and then they go on to the league, do big things because the conference is as great as it is when it comes to talent-ridden guys. But sometimes you just look at some teams specifically, and there's just coaching staffs that are like, hey, this is who we're going to draft. They're in a system that's similar to our system, or these are coaches that were in the NFL. Look no further than Nick Saban. Look at the Eagles. There's some more Alabama guys on that roster than there are Alabama guys on Alabama's roster from the transfer portal. It's insane. Yes. So, but if you look, I think Patrick put together some notes on some guys that we will see from the SEC. Gerhard, give us a breakdown of who these guys are who will be on the field going into Thursday's game.
Yeah, a ton of former SEC players all over the field. But like you said, there's some personnel guys in the NFL that say that the NFL really has 3 conferences, not 2 conferences. There's the AFC, there's the NFC, and there's the SEC. Those are the 3 conferences. You just take a look at the Eagles lineup. You have, it's basically Alabama, Georgia. And coming up tonight, San Fran's got Mac Jones, Brian Robinson Jr., who obviously played at Alabama, DeMarcus Robinson, who played at Florida, Jordan Watkins, who played at Ole Miss, and Trent Williams, probably the best offensive lineman in the history of the game, former Oklahoma star. Meanwhile, on the other sideline, we will have Robert Beal Jr., he played at Georgia. Michael Williams also played at Georgia. Alfred Collins. For the Texas Longhorns, Jordan Elliott and Eddie Perino. In my opinion, like the SEC, there's certain franchises, like you said, certain GMs, that will almost take guys off their board if they don't play against a bunch of power fours.
I'm not in those rooms.
Yeah.
But I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. And I think that in all of our time talking to Jim Nagy,
Yes.
who is the longtime Senior Bowl executive director and now is the GM of the Oklahoma Sooners, he kind of could judge talent based on who it was these guys were playing. 200 rushing yards per game in, I don't know, the ACC was not exactly 200 rushing yards.
Why'd you look at me when you said that?
That was a very pointed
Was that
pause.
obvious?
That was a very pointed pause.
Was that obvious?
Oh, yeah.
Was that obvious?
This is another one of the things in the break we will roll back. In the ACC pause, head look over. They say you're
right at my direction.
They say your nose points to who you're talking to.
Yes.
She was talking to me until she said ACC. She pointed the nose over there, like ACC.
Is that something you learn in like public speaking course or something like that? Like ACC, nose over here. I love that. It's actually really funny. To be honest though, I do think that, and the point remains, that whatever you do, whatever your stats look like in college ball, it is an amplified, I guess, stat when it is in the SEC. Whatever that could be, so whatever you've done it. I mean, quarterback's a different kind of position, but most specifically, when you're having to deal with guys in the trenches, when you're having, like at running back, for instance, and you are going up against an SEC defensive line. Now, we're seeing more and more parity. So we're talking traditionally, and I'm sure we will see it just as things are changing in college. Then the trickle-down effect happens or trickle-up effect happens, and just like with every single thing else. So I'm sure the more widespread it becomes, the more we're going to see, hey, okay, GMs be more open to picking up guys in the draft or what have you from different parts. But make no mistake, they probably came from an SEC school originally. I mean, they probably moved around seven times to get over there, but you know how that goes.
Exactly.
So.
Former Alabama defensive star Patrick Surtain, who plays with the Denver Broncos, who just won Defensive Player of the Year. I think he put it perfectly. He was talking about Nick Saban's program. He's like, hey, what made us good in the pros? Yes, Saturdays, because of course you're playing against Alabama and Georgia and Tennessee and other professional players, but also practice, but also your day-to-day.
Dude, yeah.
Just what your day looks like. Your Tuesday looks like what a Wednesday in the NFL would look like. The practice structure is the same and everything else. So they almost like mold you into being a professional athlete while you're there at school, which you don't get in a lot of other conferences.
And, I mean, it was not that long. He doesn't do it nearly as strong as I do. It's a feminine trait just to be able to like say something and just make it so pointed and directed. There was a year, I can't remember what year it was, that Nick Saban had, I don't know, more. I think it was over half a dozen. I think it was 8 something first round picks. I mean, it was stupid. I mean, that might have been trickling into the second round a little bit, but it was one of those last years, sometime in the last. I don't know if it was 2020 year. Somewhere like thereabouts.
2-3 years ago. Where
was that the Mac Jones year?
Of the top, I think it was like it was because the year they won the national championship, and it was like of the top 50 players, top 45 players, 7 or 8. It
was strong.
Yeah.
It was really, really strong. We heard from Mac Jones as he is getting this opportunity there to get the start on Thursday Night Football action. Let's take a listen to the former Alabama quarterback.
Really, just like I talked about, just day by day getting better. And at the end of the day, you just have to ask yourself if you can protect yourself in the game. And felt good to go. So obviously every week guys are dealing with stuff, and it's an everyday battle. So you're just working through it. I've had a few of these Thursday night deals before, and it happens fast, so that's all I know, and really you just got to stick to your rules, and it's a quick week. You kind of just go out there and, like fall camp, you just play the game, and each day is a new practice during fall camp, so that's kind of how we view it. It's very quick, and turnaround's quick, so that's how I'm approaching it. Obviously, you watch and get as much in as you can, but like I said, you kind of go out there and just play ball. But they're really good. They're, in my opinion, the number 1 defense in the NFL after watching them. I know statistically they're pretty high, but I'm really been impressed with them. So it's going to be a huge challenge, and they do a lot of good stuff.
I used to call him McEnroe Jones because he reminded people of John McEnroe, who used to go ballistic on the tennis courts.
When I watched that a minute ago, I was like, he looks a lot more put together. He just, I don't know. Sometimes you just got to go hit enough, I guess, maybe to get it knocked in your brain. Like you got to chill out a little bit. Take 20% off the top.
And I think it's when it's Shanahan's offense, kind of alluding to what Patrick said, it's a quarterback-friendly offense. You don't feel like you have to pull everybody. You feel like you can just play within the system.
And sometimes you just have to have the right coaching and just handling, so to speak. You know, I mean, he was handled at Alabama, and sometimes if you aren't getting handled and you're a guy who's not ready to not be handled, then shoot, you got to reel it in a little bit because you can't figure it out yourself.
Yep, and an SEC quarterback on the other side of the line as well, Matt Stafford. Former guy, went to Georgia. I know it feels like a million years ago.
Okay, time the heck out. So I literally, when it had to go so far back in my brain
I know.
to even think about where it was that he played college football, to be honest with you. I was like, wait a minute, what? Because I think former, I don't know, like somewhere in the NFL, like, I mean, Lions quarterback, like Matt Stafford. I'm not sitting here going like, oh, yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah,
former
Georgia quarterback Matt Stafford. I was like, what, I was in diapers at that point?
Played in those dog days whenever they had Mark Richt, and it was like, 12-2, 8-4. 12-2, 8-4.
What year was that? Oh my God, that was a minute ago.
Yeah, he's had a whole career in Detroit, a whole career in LA since then. But no, this was forever ago. I remember.
I mean, he's only 37. Like I'm acting like the guy. I'm acting like he's 54. That's ugly. That is ugly. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, okay, he did. It was 2006.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
That is a minute ago.
Yeah, it was a long time.
That
ago.
That was almost 20 years ago.
17th season in the league. Whew.
Wow.
But 30-9 at Georgia, and I guess because this was when Georgia was still
I forgot how good the Mark Richt days were. I mean, they really were too.
They were good, but they never got over the hump. It's that Clemson effect. They just never won that championship, and so they got sick of it.
Yep.
Fired him. Now they got Kirby. Yep. Got a championship. And got some Simone.
Yeah, you know what? Listen, that comes regularly dished over there to the folks in Athens. I can promise you that. But most specifically, Kirby. Let's take a listen to quarterback Stafford here on this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's a quick turnaround for us. We're playing again on Thursday in a few days, so sure nice to come away with this one and a win. It's a really good football team we just played. Physical on both sides of the line of scrimmage. You look at their skill position guys who they got at running back and receiver. Daniel's playing great and tight end, so. Big challenge for our defense. I thought they played great, and then we struggled there a little bit, but found some good momentum late, and were able to win it. So definitely nice when you got a quick game turnaround. So we'll take it. Yeah, it's tough. It gets tougher and tougher for me every year, but we'll do a great job of turning the bodies over. I guess maybe the one positive for us is we're in division, so we kind of know a decent amount of these guys, right, and what they're kind of about. So it's not, some opponent we rarely ever play or ever see, and you got to really deep dive and learn, everything there is to learn. So that part of it is good. But yeah, I mean, I just think Thursday practice when I jog out onto the field, like sometimes how you feel going out to that, and you're like, gonna have to do that for game day. But adrenaline's a hell of a thing, so we'll be all right.
There are several GMs, we mentioned it earlier, that pull out of the SEC. Talked about the Philadelphia Eagles. The LA Rams are definitely one of those teams, whether it was like Matt Stafford, like he goes back old school, or some of the new school guys. Let's take a look at the guys that'll be on the sidelines representing the SEC for the LA Rams. Jordan Whittington out of Texas, Bo Limmer, DJ Humphries, Warren McClendon Jr., Poona Ford, Omar Speets, Byron Young, former Tennessee standout, excellent season last year, Trey Brown out of Oklahoma, Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi State, Cam Curl out of Arkansas, and Jalen McCullough out of Tennessee. Lots of guys there out of the SEC playing. If I were to handpick one franchise I want to play for, it might be the LA Rams.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Outside of your taxes, because you're paying a lot of money in taxes right now, that team just seems so balanced. I mean, offensively they're really strong. Defensively they're really strong. There's a really, really good team. And right now that division's winnable.
I would like to play for Vrabel with the Titans.
They said Vrabel now.
Nope. I don't want to play for the Patriots. I want to play for the Patriots. I want to play for Vrabel with the Titans.
So you could be in Nashville. I get you. You know what? I kind of get it.
I like Coach Vrabel. Yeah, I like defensive coaches.
I know you like Coach Vrabel.
I like defensive coaches
for many reasons. But then also you like Nashville.
He's just a gritty guy. He just gets after it, man. I was watching his linebacker coach when I was in Houston, man. It was like, I don't know. He was just the fire. Because I can tell you, Bill O'Brien was not the fire.